The MF Empire podcast is brought to you by MaxFit Meals. With over 30 meal selections to choose from, ready in 3 minutes or less, MaxFit Meals is the greatest place to find meal prep on the planet. Healthier options of the meals you already love. And right now, MaxFit Meals is offering $120 off your first 8 weeks of MaxFit Meals subscription. You can use code MF Empire at maxfitmeals.com. And, you know, MaxFit Meals is the greatest meal prep company on the planet. So go check them out. MaxFit Meals, where maximizing your food is our ultimate passion. What else brings this podcast to these fine folks?
The podcast is also brought to you by Meek Marketing. If you are looking to scale your business dramatically in 2023 and beyond, do what we did. Use Meek Marketing. They specialize in website design, graphic design, digital marketing, commercial photography, and much, much more. They're an all-encompassing business that will drive you to the next level and will help you become the brand that you always wanted to be. Find them at meekmarketing.com, and you could also contact them on social media at meek_marketing.
Let's get into the podcast. Welcome to the MF Empire podcast, where we help business professionals and leaders like you take your business to the next level. In each episode, we bring you expert insights and practical advice on how to grow your business, increase revenue, become a better leader, and achieve your goals. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to expand your existing business, this podcast is for you. Join us as we explore the latest trends, strategies, and tools to help you succeed in today's competitive marketplace. Let's get started on your journey to business growth. Now, here are your hosts, Chris Spencer and Brian Meek. Chris, how you doing today?
Brian, I'm doing outstanding. Thank you for asking.
So, this is episode 5 of the MF Empire podcast.
It is
episode 5.
These
feel
are
like
flying by.
We're starting to bang these things out and get into a nice little groove here.
Flywheels turning.
We are on to chapter 3 of the book by Jim Collins, Good to Great.
Right.
Foundational book for our business, for the MF Empire, for all things that we do together and separate. Today's chapter is first who, then what.
Sure.
Now, this is probably the chapter that has had the most impact on on us as individuals and business owners individually, and also as, partners and as teammates and as, employee and integrator and visionary and all the great stuff, the stuff that you want to say. First who, then what has kind of been the transformative concept of everything that we've done. So, I mean, how do you feel about this chapter?
It came on the perfect storm, right? Like, as you said, it's a foundational book. The book was availed to me. We heard that story, but it is availed to me in a time that I needed it, as actually I was bringing on more and more employees because the shop was growing, and I needed the direction. So I think the universe via Jim Collins really took care of MaxFit. First who, then what. It comes down to self-awareness as the leader of the organization, and self-awareness of like who we need. Like basically any direction, any company, the team is what is going to take you across the finish line. It's going to help you grow. It's going to help you increase sales or whatever, whether it comes down to cleaning the floors or stocking shelves. It's the team.
Right.
And there's many aspects of our business. It's a little bit more complicated than it was back in those days where we just had this one retail store. But the team, you need the individuals, and every individual is different. They're like snowflakes, but you have to have a self-awareness in your brand, know the needs of your company or your business, and then the who is who we're going to get. So you have a clear direction of who you're hiring, who you're seeking to bring into your organization.
Or who you already have in your organization.
Who you already have, right? And who needs to stay and who needs to go sometimes, and where they stay in the organization, and how they break it down is a bus that's heading to success. And the bus has a leader driving the bus, but there's also a lot of individuals in the back, and there's different seats that occupy different things, whether it's marketing. And in the earlier discussions of Good to Great, Brian spoke about why he was brought on. He actually approached yours truly, and said, hey, like I noticed when I shop here, there's you got stuff everywhere. Here, shit's everywhere, and it's not really categorized, and I think I could add value to your brand. And once you hire me, part time, and I'll come in and I'll help merchandise And then it quickly evolved, like different needs came up, and Brian actually,
as we got people off the bus, things happened, right? Like those seats were vacant.
Deleted themselves, fell off, too many drinks and fell off the back or whatever. But the point is that, he's found his place on the bus, which is, the marketing aspects, leadership aspects, because I think he does, he's a leader just like I am here in this business, leads the team, leads meetings, leads goal setting, team meetings, stuff of that nature. So it creates this big ball of chaos, and it helps you as a leader chop it all up and find out it makes sense and where to place people. So if you have a guy or a girl that's very outgoing, seeks people, and has a need to greet and help, you don't put them in the stock room.
No, you put them on the sales floor
in Monterey. No, no, you put them where they need to be.
Spencer's Lounge in Monterey.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it makes you as the lead of the company more hyper aware of accessing people's skill sets, their personalities, their positive traits, and placing them where they need to be. And it's been a game changer for us, man. So it's being more self-aware, not necessarily just as a leader, but as your company as a whole, and the direction it's going and the people that need to be there. And like the quote says, first who. You can't have a company without the who, and that's your team players.
Then what? Which ultimately means like it's okay to have goals and understand where you're going, but if you don't have the supporting cast, you don't have the people around you, you don't have the people on the bus, you're not going anywhere. No matter what, that bus is staying on. I parked at the station. So a big part of first who then what is not just finding the right people, because in today's market, it's really hard to find just people in general, but finding the right people is very, very difficult. So sometimes you have to search from within your organization. You have to find, a perfect example is the company I currently work for. I've found my 2 supervisors I found from within the organization. One came from a different department. One I promoted from within my department. Both of them were hungry for new opportunities. Both of them were fully capable of doing the job. One of them was a supervisor already in a different department. The other one was not. And I have 2 different people that I have to teach. One person I have to teach that our department, and the other person I have to teach how to become a supervisor, right? I have to develop them into a supervisor. But I went through other supervisors that either weren't capable, they didn't want to do the job, they weren't the right people. When I first got there was an individual who he did not belong with the company, and it was real quick. Like, hey, I got to get this guy out of here. I don't think it was longer than 40 days before he was gone.
Right. Yeah,
and you got to be able to pull the trigger.
In this chapter, so you know what I'm going to say. In this chapter is where if you have a cancer in your arm, you have to have the guts to cut your own arm off.
Right.
And that's what you're talking about. And for me, that was hyper difficult. Something I feared. It's something I put off. It's something I drug my feet on, all aspects. And that's probably what that's one of the things that's propelled me to where I'm at today. And I think you would probably agree with that. And I can almost pretty much say that's one of the biggest things that was holding me back.
Yes. Yeah. When we first started working together and I went from just being the merchandising guy and trying to get the staff on track and all that stuff to kind of being more of a partner, not a partner, but part of the team in the inner circle at the time. I would tell you, like, dude, these guys got to fucking go, man. Some of these guys are just, they're collecting a paycheck. They're not giving you any value. They're taking care of each other. They're protecting each other. And not to say that they weren't good people, but they were just not the right people for where we wanted to go. I asked you, like, hey, what do you want to do? I want to become the best. I want to be the only company that people think about when they think about health and wellness. The only company that people think about when they think about meal prep. I don't want them to go to anybody else. I want to get rid of my competition. And in order to do that, we are going to have to find the right people.
Right.
And it's taken 5 years. I feel like we finally have the right people.
And in this chapter, there's key principles that ease the process with this, right? So, starting off with like hire slow and then fire fast, stuff like that. But also concepts like if someone's not working out and they're, just collecting a paycheck, like you said, they're, unhappy or unmotivated, turning them loose deleting them from your team, a lot of times that does them a favor.
Sure.
I've actually had people that we've let go and they come in later on and, shake my hand and thank me for
letting them go.
Because then you're freeing them up to become a better person, whether it's going back to school or trade school or finding that job at PG&E or whatever, instead of just showing up to a job that they're not happy and they're just collecting a paycheck.
Right.
So instead of like making it about me and not wanting to hurt somebody, you're actually setting them free.
Sure.
And then they end up being better people in the long run. So you're actually doing your business a favor, but you're always also doing these individuals a favor, whether they know it at that time or not.
Right.
And somebody who really, I do have a heart for my employees. I do have a heart for people. That was a very eye-opening principle for me and something I'm very grateful for. And I'm hence like the excitement for this chapter overall, and hence the value and the freaking love for this darn book, because it really will save you if that you're struggling with these same things. And I think it's actually human nature to not want to terminate people.
Right. I mean, we're going into a recession. It's no secret. We don't have to dance around the issue. It's obvious. Everybody knows. People are starting to kind of panic or whatever. But you're seeing companies every day that are just like cutting.
Sure.
And do you really think that they're eliminating just people because they want to? No, they know what they're doing. They are getting rid of bottom performers. They are getting rid of people that are just sucking on the teat. They're just collecting a paycheck.
And there's times where I've not done the best and I haven't been the best employee. So I understand. You can't tell me something. I've been in those shoes.
Yeah,
where,
of course. We've both been shitty employees.
Right. I think everyone has.
I mean, I started.
We wouldn't be sitting here now if people just kept feeding you. It's just like, it's like your parent has to kick you out someday. Like go discover the world.
Right.
Find your happiness elsewhere. And I think it's a healthy process. And I think that's every company. And in fact, if you're sitting here listening to this and you have a bloated staff, the numbers are not matching, you're having a hard time making your rent, 9 times out of 10, you have a lot of people that are lacking direction. They're being poorly led. So you have to look at yourself in the mirror. That's another principle, looking yourself in the mirror and really understanding yourself. But it's making those really tough decisions.
Right.
And for me, it actually is second nature. Like we've gone through, I'm an older guy now, or middle-aged guy. I'm not brand new to entrepreneurial adventures, but the first go round of first recession that I went through, I didn't have good to great, and I got annihilated. Didn't move fast enough, or I didn't move at all, and I was like a frozen mannequin, and just let my business, all my profits, all my inventory get chewed away. And now, like, we pivoted on a dime during COVID.
Right.
We really,
to the point where we were in there working together, making smoothies, like on my
I'm not trying to be cocky, but I have a feeling that with the fine-tuned machine that we have, we can pivot on a dime and we could almost maintain profit, without like
at will,
without like maybe.
What do you think it was that caused that fear of indecision? But obviously you didn't have the book, but what was it that caused?
I just want to hurt anyone's feelings. Things will get better. False hopes. No backstory.
Sure. If you're a business owner out there or a leader, and
but here's the thing is, I didn't want to fire. I felt like I was in charge of these people. I had hired them.
You feel like
the sad
you owed
part
it to
is,
them? Did you feel like
a little bit, yeah.
You owed it
but
to
at the end of the day, they're out completely out of a job instead of maybe reducing people's hours or getting rid of the guy or the girl who just didn't want to be there.
Keeping the person that was
right.
You'd lose everybody.
Right. Yeah. Everyone's gone, including me.
Right.
I can't even hire you back at that point.
Right.
Instead of like letting you go for a couple of months, getting the ship
You're swinging a hammer or digging ditches or whatever.
There's no job for you if you wanted to come back.
Right.
It was closed.
So if you're a business owner and you find yourself having these conversations with yourself, just know that he's been here. Chris has been there. I've been there. I know we know what it's like.
And the second time, leaner, meaner. We Kaizened. That's another thing we'll get into. We Kaizened. We got to work. I put on a hammer, swinging hammers, redid the store, cut hours, reduced hours, and now we pivoted to the point where we're blasting off into a recession. And I'm not going to sit here and be cocky and say this will last forever, but I do know that we have a plan. We have goals for if there is a recession. We've already thought this through. So it's not the shiny side, like keeping the store clean, having the employees standing around, talking, we actually are actively marketing, finding ways to maintain, not increase profit margins in recession, maintain profit margins if we have to cut cost, offer a different variety of products that are more affordable for people during this recession. So forward thinking, and this is all has to do with Good to Great. So get the tools. Being a business owner, entrepreneur is very stressful. It's a lot less stressful when you have a plan.
Right. And you have
a plan. You're gonna ruin your health. You might as well adapt to this. You might as well get on the bus to success, or get off, man, because you're going to cause yourself a lot of health problems, a lot of unnecessary.
You're going to crash, and
you're going to, as Traction says, and we'll talk about that one day, you're going to hang yourself from the vines of your own business. Right.
And I'm going to tell two stories here. Number one is from early on in my kind of after I found Good to Great, after you presented Good to Great to me. When I was working for the company, I was dealing with union employees. I told this story, kind of told the story of what I was doing before. But I was working with union employees that were I was the leader in that business, and I never dealt with union employees, so I wasn't familiar with that. But I learned really on that, like, whenever there was an opening to move somebody from one job or duty to something that I knew they were better at, or I was able to consolidate job duties for somebody that could do the two things at once versus having two people do one thing at a time, I took advantage of that. And there was opportunities that were presented to me multiple times where I was able to do that. And we became a very highly effective, a highly efficient team. The next story is that, it's not just getting rid of people and not just finding people before I move on.
Yeah, it's not
moving people into the right place.
A lot of it's moving it around, and then a poor performer becomes a high performer.
Right. I'm a perfect example of that, right?
Sure.
I found it was, hey, I can shoot a video. Hey, we can do a podcast. Hey, I can make a website.
Hey, the video guy doesn't shoot pictures with his camera phone.
Right.
Let me do it.
Right.
And being that guy, and I think, as it's kind of off topic, but if you want to really discover who you are and actually become self-aware, put yourself out there as an owner, as an even employee. If you're an employee that's listening, try new things, and you just might find a skill set and find a new spot in in the bus to success. So
like as kind of like a slight case study or something that I can tell you, this is a legitimate conversation I've had with one of my clients. One of the issues that this person was dealing with was the same thing. They had some of the wrong people on the bus, and he would probably tell you that he took a little bit longer than he should have to get those people off the bus. Eventually got off the bus. Right. You know what it's like. Right. And once he did that, he saw a transformation in his business.
Awesome.
A lot of, and it wasn't just like monetary. A lot of it is, I got rid of that person, and I don't have the stress of that person's either payroll, or I don't have the stress of that having to lead that person, or having to show up and have that person not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And so, sometimes you are relieving yourself of the things that are holding you back, like Chris said, those vines that are holding you back, and that can be transformative in and of itself. So
cut the vines.
Chris, if you had to distill this chapter down, first who, then what, into one concept or one thing that somebody could take and they can implement today in their business and their leadership skills or their journey, what would that one thing be? You want me to?
I think if you have a cancer in your organization,
you got to cut it off.
Cut your own damn arm off,
right?
Just to survive. And I repeat that all the time. So it's all distilled down to that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's
and a lot of times common. It comes down to it. I mean, not everyone is great. Not everyone wants to be on your team. Not everyone wants to succeed. There's people that join organizations just to collect a paycheck. There's people that join organizations. Whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, just to be cancerous and destroy your organization. So that's one thing that I've learned. If you want to survive, you want to be level 5, you want to be not good, you want to be great, you got to cut the cancer out.
Sure. And if I could leave it with one thing, it would be, if you have a team right now, find out what your team is good at, which each individual is good at. Sit down with them, have a meeting, ask them what they feel that their job duties are, how they feel they're performing. Be very, very diligent and dig in and push those hard things, lift up the rocks, look at the ugly, squiggly things under the rocks. And you might just find out that you have individuals within your organization that can do great things, and you just haven't given them the opportunities yet. Yeah. So I think that's all we have for today for this chapter.
Another episode of the MF Empire podcast.
Everybody have a great day. We'll see you on the next episode. Deuces.
Deuces.